Shabbat Shalom. As promised, I said I was going to do some 5-minute videos, try to do 5-minute videos. And the first one I was going to do was Sabbath, about the Sabbath. So I'm going to get right started so that I can try to keep this at 5 minutes. But I want to just do a little teaching on the Sabbath. The Sabbath comes out of Exodus 20. It is the fourth commandment. And nowhere in the Bible does it say that we can do away with any of the commandments. So if we keep one, we're supposed to keep them all. And the Sabbath was not erased. The fourth commandment is still in there. It says in Exodus 20, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You will labor 6 days and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh, your God. You will not do any work, you or your sons or your daughter, your manservant, your maidservants, or your cattle, or your stranger within your gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all that is in them, and he rested the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the seventh day and sanctified it." And it's the only day that has been blessed and sanctified. Actually, he never named the rest of the days, he only named the Sabbath. The rest of the days were by numbers, so Sunday would have been the first day of the week, and so on. But Saturday, Shabbat, that's what Sabbath means, is Shabbat, is the only day that he named blessed and sanctified. And the word Sabbath is mentioned 135 times in the Bible, 75 times in Hebrew scripture, 60 times in the New Testament. The plural form is found 35 times in Hebrew scripture. Plural means when it says Sabbath, that's because the weekly Sabbath is one, and then the holy days, there's 7 of them, so that makes it plural. It's weekly, and then the holy days, they're called Sabbaths. So that's why that says plural. The word refers to the day and basically means to rest or take an intermission, just like our bodies need 8 hours of sleep, and we take an 8-hour intermission at night when we go to bed because our body needs that time. And Yahweh knew exactly what we needed, and he gave us those 8 hours at night to sleep, and he did the same with the Shabbat. The Hebrew word for Sabbath is Shabbat. The basic purpose is to provide a day of rest and time of fellowship with our Creator. The two main reasons Yah gave us Shabbat is it is a sign of the covenant God made with them and us. Exodus 31, 12 through 17. I want to read that for you. "And Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak also to the children of Israel, saying, Verily you will keep my Sabbaths for a sign between me and you throughout your generations. So you will know that I am Yahweh, who sanctifies you. Therefore you will keep the Sabbath, for it is holy to you. Everyone who defiles it will be put to death. Whoever does any work, that soul will be cut off from among his people. 6 days you may work. 6 days work may be done. But on the seventh is a Sabbath of rest, holy to Yahweh. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath, he will surely put to death. Therefore the children of Israel keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed." So this is a covenant, and it's supposed to be kept throughout every generation. And it's a sign, and someday I could go into another little thing about that, about the sign, how it would be a sign. So I want to, let's see. The Sabbath is a sign of the covenant God made with them and us, and is a picture of the Messiah who will come and give us a greater rest in our souls. Hebrews 4, 9 through 11. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that the Sabbath was ever changed, or that Sunday was the Sabbath. The Pope, Constantine, and other men like him, I think the Council of Nicaea, they changed the Sabbath. But Yahweh never changed it. It's always been the Sabbath. And I'm reaching my 5 minute mark, but I just had a couple more verses I wanted to read, and then I could do a little bit more the next time. But I just wanted to tell you how important it is right now that we should be keeping the seventh day as our Sabbath. And for me, my personal testimony is I always love to be around my, church family. I call it Mishpachah. Uh, and for us, the way we do it, we spend the whole day together. We bring food and we eat together, and we stay there together the whole day. Whereas when I was in a Sunday church, we would go get there, have church, and people would be down at the altar, and you'd look up, and the whole church would be gone. Everybody gone, doing their own thing, trying to get in a movie, out to eat, driving all hundreds of miles to get somewhere, and then get back in time for Sunday night service. When actually that time is time you're supposed to spend in fellowship with your brothers and sisters and with Yahweh, and not getting a rush. Just spend the day together. And I think having a meal together is one of the greatest things that a fellowship and getting close to somebody and really finding out who really cares for you. But anyhow, this one last verse, I'm sorry I'm at 6 minutes. It's kind of hard to get all this in, but it says in Isaiah 66, uh, for the as the new sky and new earth which I am will make will remain before me, says Yahweh, so will your seed and your name remain. And it will be that from one new moon to another, and one Sabbath to another, all flesh will come to worship me, says Yahweh. And they will go out and look upon the carcasses of the men who have rebelled against me, for their worm will not die, neither will their fire be quenched, and there will be an abhorrence to all flesh. So if the Sabbath was changed and done away with, why then does Yahweh say in the new kingdom and the millennial that everyone will come and observe the new moons and the Sabbaths? And it says also, if they don't come for tabernacle, there will be no rain. So the Sabbath is very important, and uh, I hope that I just made, give you a little of understanding. I believe, that there's been certain awakenings in the past, and mine was like 2009, even though I had knew about the Sabbath for years. Uh, I finally, awakened in 2009 and started observing that. And it's lots of people are being awakened, and I think this year 2020, many people are going to come to this. And so this is your head start. So, anyhow, I hope you got a little something out of this. Shabbat Shalom.